What's going on, everybody? John here with you. It's December 1st, 2025. How's everybody doing out there today? Look, it's been a while since I did an NBA stream, but where I'm at now, it's a little bit different of channels and what I can get. So, NBA on Peacock, I do have access to. And look, I know it's not the most preeminent matchup between the Bulls and the Magic, but still, this was a team that started the season 5-0, the Chicago Bulls. They've been 4-10 since, and the teams that they have lost to, let me get to my notes here, have not been very good in the mix of it. So I know they had some injuries. Again, no Colby White, no Jalen Smith, Noah Essengue, Zach Collins, Isaac Okoro, and Terry as well. But they've lost 4 of the last 5 to New Orleans, Indiana, and Charlotte. Again, Indiana without Tyrese Halliburton for the whole year. New Orleans hasn't won very many games at all. You pull up their standings and look at the bottom of the Western Conference. They sit at the worst at 3-18. Only the Wizards have a worse record in the East at 2-16, and the Brooklyn Nets at 3-16. So New Orleans, Indiana, and Charlotte. Charlotte's just 6-14. So they've got to get back in the win column. And I know it's going to be hard to do considering who's out. For Billy Donovan and the Chicago Bulls, their starting lineup sounds like this: Josh Giddey, Dosunmu, the Illinois native, Kevin Huerter, Mattis Buzelis, and Nikola Vucevic. On the bench usually will be Trey Jones, Jevon Carter, Emanuel Miller, Patrick Williams, and Lachlan Olbrich, who I'm not familiar with. Their reserves are Julian Phillips and Trentyn Flowers. Usually when you get to that portion of the part of the lineup for the Bulls or any other team, it's usually the first or second round picks that they have that don't really go up against the cap. So that's kind of how you end up spreading your lineup. We're about 3 minutes from tip. So we'll see. I got everything on the TV adjusted for the Peacock side because it wants to throw in Dolby Atmos and kind of change things on its own. So hopefully I have it on the same gaming set that I have, so it won't change the pictures too much. I'll just call this the way I'm supposed to. For the Orlando Magic, they've been playing pretty well. They've won 5 of the last 6. They sit at 12-8, head coach by Jamal Mosley. Their starting lineup sounds like this: Jalen Suggs, Desmond Bane, Franz Wagner, the Michigan man Tristan Da Silva, and Wendell Carter Jr. Anthony Black will be on the bench with Tyus Jones, Jonathan Isaac, and Goga Bitadze. Their reserves likely Jace Richardson, Jet Howard, another Michigan man, and Noah Penda, who was their second-round pick. I think he was picked, 33 in the mix? There was a couple extra ones there. I know there's not 33 teams, but that's what I saw on the ESPN side. Paulo Banchero, Moritz Wagner, and Castleton are out. For Orlando, again, 5 of the last 6. They just got a 112-109 victory over the Pistons in the NBA Cup qualifier. That knocked the Pistons up. Pistons only have 4 losses on the year. So with Banchero out, here's what I'll say. Desmond Bane looked in from added scoring, 25 plus, I would imagine. Franz Wagner averaging 22 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. The one thing for Orlando that they're not very good at, they're in the bottom portion of three-point percentage at 34.7%, ranked 22 out of 30 teams. But I see that they have a lot of size, good physicality, and want to disrupt with length. So that's what I'm guessing here from what we'll see. Again, from the NBA on Peacock side, I am pretty happy to hear the NBA on NBC theme that I grew up with as a young lad. But we'll see what ends up happening with all the other gambling that they put in there. Again, you got Grady in the mix of Austin Rivers and Vince Carter on the Peacock coverage. So Vinsanity. He did play for the Orlando Magic at one time toward the tail end of his career. But you guys let me know what you think. Again, the spread sits at about 10. So I think we all know what we're going to get in this game, but it's a good opportunity for me to warm my chops a little bit as far as getting NBA play-by-play again. It's been a while. I will try to get back into some college basketball when we finish with the Waterford Sharks homestand on Friday and Saturday. I'll be away from travel for about a month. So other than next week doing the games with Cooper Hopkins at the parents' house in the mix of the Calgary Flames, and then trying to get the Edmonton Oilers Thursday at 9:30 next week. That'll be the only sort of travel before I head back here. So should be able to get some college basketball in the mix, maybe some NBA Cup, depending on what Alec is doing. My hope is that we were going to be able to get to the NHL Olympics in Italy, and I'm thinking that that's not going to change. So looking forward to that when we get to it. So you got your starting lineups all the way through it. Again, Vucevic and Wendell Carter Jr. should be a good matchup in the front court. Franz Wagner and Josh Giddey. Again, they're going for 3 guards, 1 forward, 1 center for Chicago, with the standard 2 guards, 2 forwards, 1 center for the Orlando Magic. Again, this was a team that always tried to go about with size, and we'll see how they can get it done. Orlando kind of fell apart last year toward the end of the tail end, didn't make the playoffs. And really think that is much better than what they would be. They should be a top, 5 team, you would have to think, Orlando. They can be up as good as that. I would say at worst they would be a play-in, but even that is a little bit below expected, in my opinion. So as we get set here, it is Tyler Ford and Dedrick Taylor as the referees, and we're underway now in Peacock. So the Orlando Magic in the white jerseys in the mix of the blue stripe and the black on the pants. Here is a jump shot from 16 feet, and that one goes right in. I'm going to go ahead and pull that up. It's Wendell Carter Jr. And when we get into the box score here, be able to get across for what the play-by-play will be. We'll pull that up now with the box. Josh Giddey try to drive across the lane for Dosunmu. Buzelis. He gets almost pass blocked at the rim. Josh Giddey wrap around inside, and this will draw a foul at 11:21 of the first shot clock. We'll reset now to 14. As the Magic pick one up, it's Desmond Bane at 11:21. I'll be interested to see if this ESPN box matches up with everything that's on Peacock in real time, but we'll see. I think they're about 30 seconds ahead of me on that side. So this will be knocked away again. This will still stay 8 on the shot clock here as the Bulls will get set the trigger for Billy Donovan's squat. Buzelis now to Vucevic. Has it at the elbow from 16. Turnaround is cash. Nick Vucevic, that was a tough shot, but he made it look easy. It's tied at 2. 11 minutes in this first. There's a back out for Desmond Bane. Wendell Carter Jr. Pass from Franz Wagner, rocking that full mask. Here's the Silva floater and a rebound off of the lob. Wendell Carter Jr.'s got another one. He's got 4 already. It's 4-2. 3-pointer the other way. Gets knocked down by Vucevic. Quick 5 for him. A quick 4 for Wendell Carter. Desmond Bane trying to get around. Buzelis lost the dribble for a moment, gets it back. And Bane gets blocked. This is going to be off his hands. He thought it was a block, but this will go right to the Bulls. So turnover off the hands. Left to right goes Dosunmu. Again, the dark black with the red jerseys. Hashtag see red. Josh Giddey just holds it in. Here's Dosunmu top the key 3. Rainbows it in. And the Bulls off to a good start. It's a 4 lead for them. Opportunity now for the Bulls up the cross-court pass. De Silva, now to Franz. Not used to seeing him rock that mask, but he's probably dealing with a little bit of a broken nose. It's a screen from Wendell Carter at the right wing, number 22. Michigan man fights with the contact floater off the top of the glass and in. Nice touch there for Franz. From about 15 feet, and Jalen Suggs gets the steal. Looking for an outlet. Franz probing his way in down the lane again and lays it in. Quick 4 points for Franz. Here is Buzelis. The right wing side now give to Vucevic. Vucevic screen from Dosunmu, just trying to get out of the way. And Buzelis, he gets the basket and 1 right at the rim. Foul against Jalen Suggs. So it's a good start to the game so far. It's a 10-8 lead for the Chicago Bulls if they finally put that up there, and yes, they do. At 9:25 of this first quarter, John, I'm here with you on the call. We'll take it across the NBA scoreboard. The NHL is a little bit of a light night, so figure with them being on Peacock, just want to see if they stream in 4K at all. I don't think they do. as Buzelis completes the and 1. It's 11-8. Again, 10th in the East are the Bulls at 9-10, 12-8. Orlando sits 6th. That is just outside playing. Again, 7-10 would be playing territory. And this is a turnover here. Let me scroll back down. And the notes to travel against Silva as Jamal Mosley looks on. And slowly cross court comes Buzelis and Josh Giddey. Giddey uses the screen from Vucevic. He's almost averaging a triple-double as Josh Giddey. Dosunmu blocked at the rim by Carter, and Franz saves it. Excellent work there for the Bulls defense. Desmond Bane puts the ball on the deck, give to Franz. Try to work his way down the lane. This is partially blocked. Franz taps it a couple times, but it's right in the hands of the Australian man, Josh Giddey. Giddey, former member of OKC. Now give to Vucevic. Vucevic at one time, I believe, played for the Orlando Magic. As this is cross court to Dosunmu now. Works his way top of the key. Shot clock down to 8. Giddey dribbles between his legs, lets it go from 14. Woefully short. Franz Wagner. He's kind of in second gear as he brings the ball up the court. Tristan Da Silva gets tripped. And a foul is going to be called. This one's going to get picked up, I believe, by Dosunmu. So good rim protection for both teams so far. Wendell Carter Jr. and then that one, the sliding hands, Buzelis able to get his hands up and block it a couple times from Franz. Now, Vince Carter, I mentioned it as well. They're much better, the Orlando Magic, when they go to the rim and attack. Right now, they're down by 3. And Jalen Suggs gets ripped away by Dosunmu. Here's a bounce pass, bounces off the legs, and Suggs steals it. This looks a little discombobulated here. Suggs from Bane shoots. He missed it from 12. He was wide open. 8 minutes left to go in the first. Runner with you on the solo call NBA Peacock from Orlando. As Josh Giddey. There's a one-hand layup. It's 13-8. Giddey's looked good early. Again, he's still a very young man when it comes to this league. And Jalen Suggs again missed from 12. It was a 1-on-3. He didn't win that matchup. Buzelis. Try to put the ball on the deck. He gets cut off by Da Silva. Vucevic, top of the key. Pass to Giddey, right wing corner. Shot clock down to 5. Giddey's got to get busy here. There's a pass cross court. Huerter missed it, the former Atlanta Hawk, and this is boarded by Wendell Carter. Outstretched pass is turned away. A little bit of NBA 2K style passing. A lot of these guys have their passing in the 40s when they need it more in the 70s if they want to make those. That's a turnover against the Magic. 7-10 left to go in the fourth score, and 13-8 still your score from the first, as this is boarded by Carter and then given to Franz. Again, Franz in no hurry. He tries to do a Euro down the lane. No way he's getting the continuation for that, is he? He is. Wow, that was very inauspicious. He gets around Giddey with a pro hop and then just one hands it past Vucevic. And Wagner, I'm not even joking here, he's starting these, I don't want to say mid-court, but as soon as he crosses the half-court line, works his way into mid-range, he's just pro-hopping his way to success. It's about 20 games played, about 23 points per game for Franz as he completes the and 1. So Giddey now will take this one cross-court. Field goals 5-9 for the Bulls, 5-8 for Orlando. Both teams shooting well early, but they are a little not handsy as far as dribbling the ball off their foot. We'll take a TO. Jamal Mosley will do it. Chicago's got a 2-point lead. It's 13-11, 6:50 left in the first. So Vucevic got 5, Franz 7. So get set back to check underway here as it was 6:50 left to go on the first. Again, I'm just following along on the ESPN box as well, just in case I don't miss anything. As this is inbound from the half court here for the Orlando Magic. The Bulls lead 13-11. And the Magic have the ball. Goga Badadze now gets set to check in. Jalen Suggs, right wing three, missed it. This is saved by Giddey. Looks like they just wanted to give him some extra points for his stats, as Huerter didn't go for that rebound, but now Huerter makes the pass, gets it back from Giddey, shoots the three from the right wing and rattles it home. So the former Atlanta Hawk knocks it down from the three of the right wing. It's 16-11. Again, 2-point field goals, 5 of 8 for Orlando. 3-pointers 0 for 1. Again, we mentioned this in the open. Not very good at shooting threes are the Orlando Magic. As they sit toward the bottom half, Jalen Suggs coughs it up. Here's an opportunity off the layup, but then Suggs blocks it. He turns it over, but picks his own play the other way. Now Black from De Silva, too strong off the top of the back iron, as it's picked up for Dosunmu. Now on the right wing off the jump stop, Trey Jones, Giddey. Needs a pass outlet. Dosunmu thought about it, goes inside toward the right elbow for Vucevic. Hook. And he missed it too short off the front of the rim, boarded by Badadze. Franz Wagner. Screen from Suggs. Right wing side got it at the Kia Center logo. This is Suggs now to Franz Wagner. Goga. His pass. Good entry feed, but this is blocked by Giddey. This is a block party. Dosunmu. He gets swatted by Badadze. And it goes the other way. 4 blocks in the span of 2 minutes between these two. Paint protection is not at a premium. 3 for Orlando, 1 for Chicago. Suggs. He'll stop wide open top of the key. Missed it. Too strong. This was not saved. Giddey has it in transition. His pass is poor. It's turned over. This looks like preseason. Anthony Black. He draws the foul as he goes right to the rim. So you got that Disney moniker on the logo for the Orlando Magic. Goga Badadze. They just showed it up, a potential save. Giddey had an opportunity here, but then Franz Wagner picks it off. And he would have wafted that pass up in the air. That would have been an easy lay-in, but he elected to go for a bounce pass, and that's why it got picked off and stolen. So Anthony Black will make the first of 2 free throws. Patrick Williams will come into the game for Mattis Buzelis. Again, Patrick Williams, one time I believe was a top 5 pick 3 years ago for the Bulls. He just really has never found his game. Anthony Black makes both. As it's just now 16-13 lead for the Bulls. It's been a good game so far. I'm kind of impressed from what I've seen early in this first. Spread was at 9.5, and Vucevic wide open from 10 feet knocks it down. 18-13. Gets set to bring in Ian in a moment. As Anthony Black now for De Silva on the right wing. De Silva probes, floater, Badadze has to jump to get it. Missed it off the front of the rim. This is boarded by Dosunmu. Now Trey Jones, pocket pass to Giddey. Right wing elbow, puts his head down, has to leave to Vucevic as he almost lost the ball at the right wing. Patrick Williams will get it at the top of the key. Bulls got to shoot. Patrick forces it. He knocks it down anyway. 21-13 is the Bulls' lead. Again, as we said, the spread sits at 9.5. It is early. And Franz hits it again, this time from 6, right in front of the rim. That's where his hot spot is right now. Giddey, right wing elbow. Work his way down the lane. His pass gets partially blocked. He picks it right back up. 10 seconds left to go on the shot clock. 3:35 thereabouts left in the quarter. Trey Jones wide open, right wing side. Missed it all on Gogo Badadze. Get the pumpkin. Right to left go the Orlando Magic. They are in their home lights. Badadze bounce pass, step back. Jalen Suggs, top of the key, knocks it down for 3. 21-18. And the Bulls come the other way. Dosunmu hits it on the right wing, trading 3-pointers. 24-18 your score. 3:05 left in the first. They're going to say it was a long 2. I thought it was a 3. Anthony Black, he'll spin. That's the back right from the top of the key. Suggs working his way left baseline, floats it in. 23-20. Bulls still up by 3. Josh Giddey slowly across the timeline. He's hounded by a double. Dosunmu, jump stop. Gives the ball top of the key now to Vucevic to Giddey. Off the screenplay. Inside Vucevic. Tried to save it. Bounce up in the air. This bounces off bodies and finally picked up by Jalen Suggs. They did give Dosunmu a 3. It's 24-20. That's what I initially called. And a play at the rim. Franz Wagner again down the paint. Scores it. He's going to go to the line for an and-one opportunity after Billy Donovan's timeout. It sits 24-22 with 2:27 left. Bulls up by a pair. Ian, how are you?
I'm doing well, my man.
I did not expect this. Again, it's been a while since I called an NBA game, but I didn't see Franz Wagner do a ton of this at Michigan, but now he's just going in the paint looking like a bowling ball.
Yeah, Wagner he certainly stepped up to being one of the Magic's more reliable starters.
And I was going to say this too. I know he's not playing today, and Paulo Banchero. Remember the last couple of years, we thought he looked pretty good, but I looked at this Orlando team, Ian, and they rank 22nd out of 30 in three-point percentage. They're shooting just under 34.5%. So that's the one spot that they really need to try to get to be much better. And for the Chicago Bulls, I believe they started the season, 4-0? And then now they're 9-10. So we'll see the way this matchup goes. Again, the spread sits at 10 abouts for the Magic, but this looks pretty even so far early.
I agree.
Not much on the NHL scoreboard today. What I'm seeing at the end of one, the Devils lead 2-1. Penguins got a 1-0 on the Flyers. They're just starting the second period there. Sabres down 2-0, or Sabres up 2-0, to the Jets. Jets have been in free fall mode since Connor Hellebuck got injured. And if I look at this on the ESPN side, they're coming off of a win against 5-2 against the Predators. Before that, 4-3 loss to the Canes, 3-0 Wild, 4-3 Caps, 5-1 Canes. They really need to get this win. They lose to the Sabres here. They're going to be in tough standing as the Central is very difficult.
Yeah, well, speaking of the Sabres, I mean, good Lord, there are some years where they're putrid and they were looking pretty bad to start the year, but I mean, they've been finding inconsistent, but they're finding good form.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've been good enough, Ian, as we talked about, where they're not completely out of it in the East. I mean, if you look at some of this before we get underway here, the Buffalo Sabres, they win today. They'll have 26 points. That is more than the Florida Panthers and the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I know Florida is dealing with a lot of injuries. Again, they're still waiting on Tkachuk to come back, and Toronto has really struggled this year. But again, they would be 11-11-4, and that would still be a better record than the Leafs and the Panthers if you go across as far as points. So that is a lot to be said that they're not completely out of it yet here. I have to imagine, I feel like the Wings are, even though everything is bundled up in the East. I will be covering them more next week when I head back home to the parents' house to cover games on Wednesday and Thursday for them because I can't watch them live here. Franz Wagner, they're showing all of his moves as we're watching this one on Peacock. He's just doing a lot of damage inside the paint. About 2:15 left in the first. Pass from Huerter, pocket pass. What a block by Badadze! Are you kidding me? Are they going to call goaltending on that is the question. I certainly hope not. Badadze comes over. He gives Olbrich some medicine. Knocks that one down the right wing. So we're going to stay under play here with the Bulls. As Badadze has got his second swat already. So Wendell Carter Jr. is going to get set to check in for Badadze, but he's made a good presentation already of his defensive skills. Huerter almost lost it. Now picks it back up. This is up the front of the rim. As this will be rebounded by Jonathan Isaac, who's about 6'10 almost, thereabouts. Desmond Bain, his pass toward the right wing side gets knocked away. They try to look for Isaac in front of the lane, and that gets knocked away. This will stay with the Orlando Magic and Jamal Mosley. We look back up into my lineups here. Anthony Black is going to rock number 0, Jonathan Isaac number 1, Tyus Jones number 2. That's how you know they're benching it's out there when you see those low numbers. Ninth game out with an injury is Paulo Banchero. He's got a growing injury that he's nursing, about 22 points a game. Bounce pass off the legs of Jones, who still stayed with the Magic. They sit at 12-8 on the year with some of the losses that the Cavs have had. They are in the 6th seed away from the play-in. When Ian comes back, we will bring him back into this play-by-play. Waiting a long time for this inbounds. Come on now, guys. Let's get this underway as Billy Donovan looks on. The Bulls are the youngest team in the NBA. An opportunity. Bain gets tied up. And we'll see what they call here. It looks like Desmond Bain going to go to the line. Olbrich, who got swatted, is going to pick up the shooting foul. That last one was from Badadze off the swat. We'll send Desmond Bain, the former Grizzly, to the line. He got hit on the top of the dome, it looks like. 1:55 left to go on the first round. I'm with you on the solo call. As Desmond Bain's going to try to tie it up if he makes this next one. Again, the Chicago Bulls have Jumpman on their logo, which love to see that because Michael Jordan, that's where he made a lot of his main money there. He spent the end of his career with the Wizards. He still got them in the playoffs when he had to deal with Kwame Brown, who he initially drafted. His score is tied at 24, but $1:40 left to go in the first. Trey Jones missed it. And now this will be an opportunity here for Desmond Bain. Bain toward the right wing elbow. We'll get the pass from Wendell Carter Jr. From 34-3 is Desmond Bain. Off the half screen, Bain splits the defense and lays it in. Now, for the first time today, the Orlando Magic have the lead. It's 26-24. Tyus Jones. Now for Huerter. Pass over the head of the Bulls, and they turn it over. This has been a lot of that in this first quarter. The Orlando Magic sit in the bonus, as that was a good play over Miller. He was able to get that lay-in right from 5 feet. Anthony Black usually runs backup point guard duties, but he does play a lot of minutes for Jamal Mosley's squad, usually around 30. Black now in toward the lane, fall away. This one too strong off the back iron, as this will be Patrick Williams. Slowly up the timeline, Williams almost lost his dribble, give to Huerter right elbow. Extra pass from Tyus Jones. There's Jevon Carter from Huerter. Back to Tyus. Shot clock down to 5. Got to go here. Tyus. Pass across. Miller wide open. He airballed it, and that is not going to reset the shot clock. Don't matter, as this will be picked up from Anthony Black. Desmond Bane now. Almost last possession. Shot clock 6-second difference. And Bane on the back down. Trying to get around Miller. Now got Huerter in his grill. Baines pass. Carter wide open, top of the key. Banks it in off the glass. And the Magic have a 5-point lead, 29-24. Toward the right elbow. Jones. He rattles it in, gets the buzzer beater, 29-26. Bulls down 3. But that was a pretty entertaining first quarter. We come back, we'll call the second.
You tried losing weight by yourself. If weight loss isn't for you, there may be another option. Step-down may help in your weight loss journey. Once weekly step-down helps adults to easily lose weight and keep it off.
So pull Ian back in here.
People taking step-down lost up to 48 pounds. Step-down is the first and only obesity treatment of its kind. And there are multiple savings options available, even if you don't have insurance.
So leading scorer Franz Wagner with 11 on 5 of 7. Anthony Black, the only bench scoring for the Magic. He's gotten 2 on a pair of free throws.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No problem.
One of my family members called.
So let's look through this NBA scoreboard. The Pistons have a 50-49 lead at the half. Again, they were coming off the other day. They lost to the Orlando Magic. They just beat the Heat at the Kaseya Center. The Cavs have a 66-54 lead at half. Same thing for the Bucks over the Wizards, 66-58. Wizards are just 2-16 this year. Yeah, I don't know how you could be that bad, especially when you have Chris Middleton and who the heck else do they have over there? The former Portland Trailblazer, C.J. McCollum, is on that team. You got to get those guys on new teams.
I mean, John, I understand that some teams just suck.
Yeah.
And they're bad. But look, 2-16, you have to be. I don't want to call it deliberate because I don't think players would deliberately buy into tanking. But my God, how can you be that bad to have only won 2 games up to this point?
Ian, if you're not going to say deliberate, and I'm not going to try to put words in your mouth, because I agree with your premise. You're exactly right. I don't think players would deliberately try to tank, but you can't be that bad to answer your question, even though that's what their record is. And I would have to assume that might be a little bit more of a management call. And even if it's not, you would have to at least think 70-30 more toward the tanking side, because it's impossible to be that bad.
Let me 2-16. You would have had to have lost to other teams that were just as bad. At least with the Indiana Pacers, they have a legitimate excuse. No, Miles Turner left and Tyrese Halliburton is out with it. So, them being just a cast of characters, you understand their bad record. The
So what?
Wizards,
Go ahead.
I mean, they've been bad since. Oh, who was that? Who's the GM that was around for years until they got rid of him?
You're exactly right, Ian. I would have to look that up. Again, I'm not going to embarrass myself more than I already do because I just don't know his name, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Their 2 wins, 117-107 to the Dallas Mavericks, the second game of the year. Probably understandable because the Mavericks aren't very good. But if you want to say the Wizards are hot of late, they are 1 of 2 in their last 2 games. If you want to go there, they beat the Hawks up pretty good, 132-113.
Yeah. I just. It is so bad. Oh,
A fatal.
I know.
Go ahead.
I found the name.
What you got?
Alex, who is Ernie Grunfeld?
Ooh, I wouldn't have got that Jeopardy question even if you would have paid me. As it is
Yeah.
a poster of almost potentially for, let me look here, see who that is. Julian Phillips. My goodness, over Jonathan Isaac. That is a slam and a half. It's a shame that I looked on the ESPN box between this play-by-play. They called it a layup. That was not a layup. That was a poster. 31-28 is still your score. 10:42 left to go in this second quarter. So as we get settled here, Anthony Black's pass just gets discombobulated to Desmond Bain. He got a little bit triple. Black lost it off the jump stop. Give to Isaac. Isaac's pass inside the lane to Carter, and that is going to draw the foul. So he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Buzelis will pick it up. Buzelis now will. Thought they said end of the game for Emanuel Miller, but again, that is not accurate. So ESPN all over itself. We're watching this one on Peacock. I'm just trying to give you the updates just in case I miss the fouls in real time, but we'll just go with my 4 eyes at this point. As the Magic try to get 2 more points here to potentially go up with 33-28. John Hunter with you alongside Ian Genge. Now, I do have calls Friday and Saturday. This will be the last part of the homestand for the Waterford Sharks. So my plan was to work Thursday on a Wings Hulu only game that I will be able to cover because it's Hulu only against the Blue Jackets. I might move that to Wednesday just to save the voice. So I'm not doing 3 calls in 3 straight days. We'll see. Maybe I'll still tough it out anyway. I just got to make sure I keep the voice register where it's supposed to be. Don't want to go too crazy if I don't need to 3 days in a row. So Kevin Huerter, Peacock just gave this. I'm not sure where the injury happened. He's got an abductor strain. He's not going to come back. So this will be an opportunity for Buzelis off the drop. They said he wouldn't return, but yet I think I see him over there. As Dosunmu on the right wing, he knocks it down for 3. So again, anything that Peacock brings up, I'm just going to shut my mouth. As Dosunmu on the right wing corner knocks it down. Bulls only down by 2. Desmond Bain trying to get around Buzelis as it works his way around the horn. Bounce pass from Jones, now to Bain. 3 and 2 exchange the ball. As Wendell Carter, now to Bain. Here's a right wing off the glass and in. That was a double team with hands in his face. Desmond Bain still knocked it down. 35-31 your score. Buzelis has it at the right elbow. He's being hunted by Anthony Black. Give back to Dosunmu. Off the glass. Too strong off the back iron. Good play for Buzelis. Here's a 3, Jevon Carter. And this goes right to the hand of Buzelis again. And the foul is going to be called against the Magic. That's Desmond Bain. 35-31, still your score. Let me see if I can give you some foul updates here from where we are. Don't believe anyone's in trouble just yet. Just 1 foul to tell you about for a host of Bulls. But for the Magic, 2 for Bane, and that's the most that I see there for the Magic. Buzelis, shot clock down to 5. Josh Giddey, right wing, good steal. Here is Bane. Isaac, Euro, missed it, but he's going to draw the foul. So Magic will try to add to their lead. They're leading by 4, 35-31. This has been a little bit sloppy as far as passing in this game. Look at turnovers here. Right now we have 13 total. 8 for the Bulls, 5 for the Magic. As Jonathan Isaac can go to the lane, shoot 2. I believe he's from Florida, dribbled one-handed and missed it too strong off the back iron. He will get one more to work with. Now, a couple of years ago, he was a double-digit scorer, but he was dealing with ACL, monicum, I believe, of leg injuries. Has put himself nothing but size and length of defense, nothing more. Would love to see him get back in NBA game shape as far as getting double digits. Misses both free throws. And then the Cardinals sin. You don't box up. You give up the 2 points anyway. Desmond Bane gets 2. And that is going to be a timeout for Billy Donovan. Probably going to want to chew out his team. Timeout with 9:01 and a half. Magic up by 6.
So, John, at the next stoppage, I think we need to talk about a team that we didn't see being this bad, but is probably the team in the worst position going into next offseason, that being the Los Angeles Clippers.
Oh my God. Yeah, I saw them the other day. There was an article, not an article, there was a link that came out between the two broadcasters, and they weren't arguing, and they were talking about a question, Ian, for about 5 minutes, like a trivia question. And they would not do the play-by-play, and I don't blame them because who wants to do play-by-play for the LA Clippers? They wouldn't talk about a trivia question for 5 minutes.
Well, there's that, but John, do you know what's happening with their first round pick next draft?
Are they going to possibly lose it because of the Kawhi Leonard investigation stuff from Bulmer?
Oh, no.
It has nothing to do with that?
This is, John, their first round pick is the last pick in the Paul George trade.
Oh, God, they're still doing that?
Yep.
Oh.
Because Sam Presti had the wherewithal to get swap rights.
Ian, every time we do a basketball game or sometimes in NHL, and I don't blame you because you're exactly right, you brought up the Paul George saga and trade tree. I feel you told me that story maybe 2.5 years now, and I can't believe it's still going.
It is going to become probably the greatest trade in modern sports history. And that's not an exaggeration. Because right now, the Oklahoma City Thunder have one loss to their name last I checked. And this coming draft, they are getting, if I'm right about this, an unprotected first round pick swap with the Los Angeles Clippers.
Was there ever anyone, I know this is a rhetorical question, but was there ever anyone that questioned Sam Presti in the way that he was doing things? You start from the...
Well, I think when he made the Paul George and Russell Westbrook trades, Thunder fans...
Sure.
I don't know if they didn't want him fired, I know that much, but they were, what do you call it? they more or less felt a feeling of inevitability because they knew, they were going to go into the doldrums.
Sure.
But at least that's what they thought. And then Chris Paul had recorded his best season of his career. Sam Presti then traded him to Phoenix for, I think, a first-round pick.
Yeah. Chris Paul plays, again, some of his best basketball, as you mentioned, throughout his illustrious career. You get that. You do the George move. But I don't know. You just have so many lottery tickets. You like that move that they made so many years ago to get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander from the Clippers, if not insult to injury there. And he turns into a franchise superstar. And again, he's a cornerstone for any other team. And again, alongside a guard, he's the best in the league, and the only other best big is Vucevic. He's the top 2 player, if not the best in the world.
Well, speaking of play-by-play, I think I'm keeping you from that. My bad.
No, you're all good. As I love having the conversations anyway, this is just absolute insanity here from what we're seeing as far as these turnovers. It's 39-33. Again, the Bulls started 5-0. They are 4-10 since. Jonathan Isaac swats Buzelis. Again, Isaac doesn't even have to jump when he wants to make those. He just sticks a big paw out there. Again, you love his defense. If you can go ahead and get some more scoring, blocks are 5-1 Orlando. There's been a lot of that. Desmond Bane, Anthony Black near the right elbow, trying to shoot over Dosunmu. That's woefully off the back iron. Breakout Dosunmu lays it in. Love that the other way, as it's now 39-35. This game has stayed relatively close. Again, we still got tons of time left in the game. 7:40 left in the half. As this is another three-pointer that's missed. Too short off the front iron. Opportunity now. Buzelis off the glass. Puts it in. Off the outstretched hand of the Orlando Magic. Now 39-37. Bulls haven't looked that bad. And Jonathan Isaac gets blown up on a screen. I think Buzelis is going to pick up the foul, looks like, after he was just dribbling between the legs past Jonathan Isaac to lay it in, and not really past because he's able to have gazelle-like reach. But Patrick Williams didn't get his feet set there to Jonathan Isaac, so he gets called for the foul. 39-37 your score. Orlando up by 2. And Jonathan Isaac will go to the line. He missed his last 2. We'll see if he can at least try to get something here. It's kind of hard to imagine being so bad from the free throw line. Again, we see it as bigs. And I guess you can quantify Jonathan Isaac as one, but his form, if Ian is seeing this at all, looks pretty straightforward. As Olbrich will sit down. Again, I was almost confusing him with Kevin Huerter. Again, I put the abductor strain. He's not going to come back. Olbrich will replace Vucevic. And Jonathan Isaac now has missed 3 of 4 at the line, as this will be skied by Buzelis. So you got Buzelis and Vucevic now. And off the screen, Jones, wraparound pass. Patrick Williams wide open for 3, and possibly open, missed it. That would have tied the game. 40-37 still your score. Desmond Bane, right elbow trying to get in the lane. And a foul is going to be called, I believe. Dosunmu is going to pick it up. Bulls don't like it. There was 3 players converging in on Bane. That's not the first time I've said that, as you try to work his way into the lane. And now for the Bulls, got to say this is honest day. Again, we talk about Orlando Magic struggling from the three-point line as they've done throughout the year. They kind of just have their set defense where they pack the paint, put a little zone defense. And if they can't knock down the shots, it's probably not going to change. You just got to make sure you don't foul. So Desmond Bane going to get set for his second free throw. Franz Wagner going to replace Jonathan Isaac, who played about 5 minutes before getting replaced. Desmond Bane has not missed a shot just yet. 6 of 6 at the line, 4 of 4 from field goal. Desmond Bane's having himself a good night to start. 6:55 left. It's a 42-37 lead. Magic have shot 15 free throws to the Bulls 1. Maybe that's what home court advantage looks like. Patrick Williams rattles out at 2. I'm not sure how he did that. As Anthony Black, looked like it was halfway down and actually went out. Here's a pass from Trey Jones. Now to Desmond. Step back. Hits his man in the air. And now he finally missed his first shot. As this will be tapped back, able to get this one all the way as Anthony Black, as it's not going to be a turnover off the tap. Now Anthony probing his way, a little jump pass, Wendell Carter Jr. lob to Black. He's got to step back and go here. Gets the layoff off in time, but a shot clock violation as that doesn't hit rim. It'll be Billy Donovan and the Bulls basketball. 42-37 still your score. Julian Phillips now will enter the game for Buzelis. 6:12 left to go in the second. Running with you on a solo call. It's been a while since I covered an NBA game, so hopefully I'm not fumbling all over myself. Here is Trey Jones. Now for Vucevic. Dosunmu on the right wing. He's being guarded by Wendell Carter. Bounce pass. Patrick Williams wide open right wing corner. That's his spot, apparently. That's the second one that he's knocked down. 42-40. Orlando up by 2. Franz, the masked man, number 22, works his way down the lane. He gets a goaltend call. So 44-40, Patrick Williams tried to block it. And it doesn't look like he's going to get that call from what I'm seeing. Patrick Williams goaltending, that was indeed the call. Trey Jones for the Chicago Bulls has the basketball. Number 30 on the right wing. He's got the Silva in his grill. Trey, floater toward the right wing elbow, knocks it down. 44-42, back to a 2-point game. Anthony Black at the top of the key, being guarded by Dosunmu. It's Wendell Carter Jr. on the right wing. Tyus Jones. Now 3-ball in the corner. This one gets knocked down by Jalen Suggs, the former Zag. 47-42. Vucevic gets the screen for Jones. Vucevic now top of the key. Work alongside for Patrick Williams. Love to see him continue to add to his game. Pocket pick, Jalen Suggs. Step back. Jones for the Magic now. Misses it. Too short. Williams boards it. Now to Trey. Trey's got it here for the Bulls. Wrap around pass toward the right elbow. 3 fading. Missed by the Bulls. That was boarded for Dosunmu as he missed the shot. Jalen Suggs cross court to Franz. He's going to try a 3. Way too strong off the back iron. The Orlando Magic, when they miss by a ton. You got to give them credit for that, I guess. It's spectacular as this pass gets bounced. Vucevic a little bit not sure-handed there, turns it over. And this will be Magic basketball. Tristan De Silva now going to enter for Tyus Jones on the Magic end at 4:16. That's where we sit. That's what we got left in the half. This game has remained steadfast and pretty close. There really isn't much I can tell you about that stood out. Just some corner 3-point shooting for the Bulls that's kind of kept them in the game. Vince Carter is sitting near the Magic bench again toward the tail end of his career. He spent some time with Orlando. Franz, another warp down the lane and lays it in.
Well, these are 2 teams that are still up and coming, trying to establish their cores. 2 young teams, probably both going to be in the play-in or the lower seeds of the playoff.
I would have to say so, Ian. I mean, I'm not really disgusted by what I'm watching. You know, there's been some turnovers for some of these young players, as you said, and that's going to happen as you learn the game of basketball. If Orlando can find a way to shoot the 3-pointer a little bit better, they could probably find themselves, I would say. They sit in the 6th seed right now. At 12-8, that's probably where they are, 5th or 6th seed, I would say, in the East. Franz Wagner's done a very good job getting in the lane. I've said that about 5 times already, but this Euro step has been unstoppable for him. That is his go-to move. If he could find a way to knock down some jump shots, he could be borderline unstoppable, especially when they get Paulo Banchero back. Now, Banchero, that's his particular weakness as well. Vucevic, cross-court pass. One more here for Patrick Williams to short off the front of the rim, and Franz gets the rebound. Beginning averages about 25. Another Euro attempt. This time, Bulls get active hands and knock it out of the air. Josh Giddey off the jump stop. Here's a three in the corner. That one was missed for Julian. Phillips rebound is back. It's Giddey. Inside, Vucevic got positioning, and all Da Silva can do is foul. So Vucevic able to go to the line. We'll take a TO. 49-44. Orlando still up by 5.
So, John, I got to ask, your Detroit Pistons at the top.
Yeah,
So what do you think?
they are sitting in. Let me look at their record again. I know they lost 2 of the last 3 before they beat the Heat. They're 16-4. I'm going to say the same thing I said to you a couple of weeks ago when we were on an NHL call. When they play the Thunder, they're going to get slapped around because the Thunder, my God, I have to wipe my glasses. They're 20-1. So I don't think there's levels to the fact of if the Pistons are the best in the East, I think the Thunder are probably still 3 notches above the Pistons. That's how good the Thunder are. But I believe in them. My only concern is when they get back into the postseason, inevitably, I believe they will, obviously at 16-4. When they play the Knicks, I don't want to see them get bent over again by the combination of Karl Anthony Towns and the point guard side for the Knicks that unbelievably is escaping my name, the former Maverick.
I believe you're talking about Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson, yes. I'm a little concerned that when they play the Knicks again in the postseason that they're going to lose because they can't stop Jalen Brunson. That's my only concern.
So, with that being said, I don't think you have to worry about that too much. You know, from what I see about the Pistons, they play a very, the best way I can describe it is a very early 2000s Detroit style
Yes.
football.
They make me feel like I'm watching Chauncey, Rip, Rashid, and Ben and Tayshaun.
Except I think that the big difference this time around is Kate Cunningham is more of a superstar than Chauncey Phillips or Rip Hamilton or any of those guys were.
Kate Cunningham is the best player we've had since Grant Hill.
Yeah. So with that being said, you know, J.B. Bickerstaff was the best.
Yes.
I don't think you could have gotten a better hire than with J.B. Bickerstaff for the Pistons. You know, I think that was the perfect pairing for a young team like that. And here's what I would do though. I think to match Towns, you need to, at the trade deadline, I don't know what their draft capital situation is like, but I go out there and try and find a big. Even if it's from, you know, from a team, maybe not, just a filler, a defensive filler, because you got enough offense.
Okay, let me ask you this before I get into play-by-play, because I like your assessment of the defensive filler. I think that makes more sense. I saw a lot of mock trades go across, and they wanted the Pistons to mortgage the future for Lauri Markkanen and the Jazz, and I don't really like that.
I don't know about that. I don't think that's a good idea. Actually, Charlotte Hornets.
I like that because all he does is block shots. We know what he's going to do. He's going to be in the paint.
Yeah, so that would be my choice if you needed a big man to try and go against Towns. Now, I don't know how well he is on the perimeter. I don't know if he's any good on the perimeter. But inside the paint, oh yeah.
I think there's a good reason, though, you bring that up, too, because you talk about it at the beginning of the year. We got 2 minutes left, but that was exactly who the Los Angeles Lakers were trying to get. And they couldn't.
That's why I said him.
Right.
The Lakers wanted him, obviously. Detroit could certainly use him.
So three-pointer was just missed. Giddey now. Tre Jones scores again, and the Bulls have the lead. He just knocked down a three. He's going to go to the line for an and one opportunity. Franz Wagner going to pick up the foul, but Tre Jones has scored the last 5 points. He has looked pretty good, and the Bulls not going away here. I know we still got another half of basketball, but I like their game so far. They're the youngest team in the NBA. Franz Wagner going to really adjust his Zorro Antonio Banderas mask for that broken nose as Tre Jones completes the and one, and it sits at 51-49. So these teams just over that half-century mark. Bulls on a 9-0 run. Franz, screen from Goga Badadze. Desmond Bain, one more pass. Jalen Suggs missed the right corner three, and we will get a kickball violation against Badadze. So this will go to the Bulls. Again, they're saying offensive basket interference on Peacock. I was just picking that up ahead of what I saw. Field goals this quarter, 10 of 20, 50% for the Chicago Bulls. They're up by 2 now. Tre Jones set himself quite a last few minutes. Jalen Suggs throws it off of Giddey as the ball was going out of bounds. And this will now go back to the Magic. So 2-point lead still for the Bulls. 51-49 your score, Drummer, with you alongside Ian Genge. Again, we'll talk a little bit about everything here between the half. Again, I do want to get into some NHL as well, but I do want to go across the NBA just because I haven't looked at it in a while, just to see where we are. Franz Wagner, as this will get knocked away. The shooting foul picked up against Julian Phillips, so Franz going to go to the line to shoot 2, and then Emanuel Miller gets set to replace him. So on NBC and Peacock, you got the Knicks in Boston, and then you got OKC and Golden State. And if I'm seeing that right, that one starts at a little over 11 Eastern. So that's going to be a late night tomorrow if you want to get a chance to watch that one. Franz makes the first. He's going to try to tie the game up here at 51. Now, I will say this across the Peacock feed. It looks like the stream and everything else is coming through, but I do notice they try to screen a lot on the half and half. They really try to remind you of everything that's going on and also try to throw the gambling down your throat. So I really don't care for that too much, but as long as I get a chance to cover the game in full, we stick with what we got. Josh Giddey the other way, knocks it down. It's 53-51. Jed Howard will finally get a chance to enter. He also played at U of M. It is Franz. Now screen from Goga Badadze. Not a Jet. Franz. Cross-court feed to Goga Badadze right at the rim. Little cross. And it's 53-52. Bulls still up by 1. Shot clock. About a 12-second difference from the game clock. About 25 left. Giddey has the ball on the deck. Got Suggs in his grill. Suggs steals it. 3-on-1 for the Magic. Lob, and it's stolen. They can't convert on a 3-on-1. Giddey bounce pass. Vucevic gets blocked. Are you serious? That is poor basketball. Carter down the lane. This one taken away. Down to 1. And the shot does not get off in time. Some awful basketball to end the last 30 seconds between the two. But this game is tied at 53. That looked like a comedy of errors. How do you have, good sir, a 3-on-1 for the Orlando Magic and still get the ball stolen from you? That's inexcusable. We'll go to half.
scores. Currently the Blue Jackets and the Devils are tied 2-2 at the moment. The Ducks are leading the Blues 2-1. Blues have been playing better as of late, so I'm happy about that. The Sabres are up 3-0 on the Winnipeg Jets.
Ouch.
Oh my lord. Sabres. Sabres for the entirety of the NHL, and mostly your fan base, but for the entirety of the NHL, please find some consistent winning hockey so that we may have a change of pace for the NHL postseason picture, like a true change of pace.
Yeah, you're certainly not kidding me, and that's what they're going to have.
Now, I actually wanted to run another free option by you. So, this one's a little more expensive, not by draft capital, by the salary cap. However, the Brooklyn Nets this offseason got Michael Porter Jr. from the Nuggets. Just things were on board working out with the Nuggets, and they wanted to shed some salary, and I think they got a player from the Nets. But listen to this. Currently, Michael Porter Jr. is averaging just a little over 24 points and a little over 7 rebounds. Now, his salary this season is over $38 million. Next year's salary is over $40 million. But I'm thinking maybe for one of these teams that it feels like they just need that little extra firepower. Just one more score for the depth chart. I don't know. What do you think? Maybe a second rounder?
If you can swing that, Ian, with also a little bit of salary retention, as you mentioned, that you have to have. I mean, I'm looking at his scoring, and I know it's going to go down. Somebody needs to score for the Brooklyn Nets, who only have 3 wins on the year. He started the month of November. He's got 2 30-point games there. He was averaging 22 in the month of November, or October, excuse me. And then November, 25.5, 32, 28, 34, 33, 25. He's had games where he's had 17 rebounds, 11 rebounds, 8 rebounds. He's blocking some shots. I'd consider it. I know it's a cap hit, but I think he's someone that you really would want to have.
I'm thinking maybe not. A team that's on the rise and is in playoff position, but could possibly use another shooter. I'm looking at maybe even the Bulls or the Magic. What do you think about the Raptors?
I don't know what to make of the Raptors because let me look at their roster here really quickly, but they've had a couple of those trades, right, where they ended up getting RJ Barrett, Emanuel quickly from the Knicks. Don't they have Brandon Ingram as well? They have Scotty Barnes. They got a really good young team. And you add somebody like Porter to that who, look, he's 27. He's probably an NBA veteran at this point. I still think he's got plenty in the tank. I know some injury history, but I think he'd look pretty good on that team.
Yeah, and I'm also looking at a couple teams that are under them, including the Magic, but 2 more teams that could benefit from a Porter Jr. is Miami and Atlanta. I mean, think about it. You got your team Porter with you team Porter with Trae Young, or you send it to Miami, which is just a hotbed of young talent in Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah. Man, their front court looks pretty good with Wiggins and Adebayo. But yeah, I mean, I would look at it. You got Norman Powell on defense, and that's pretty good. But you add that in the mix for Miami, and you probably move them up a notch and a half, don't you?
Yeah. So there's basketball. Go ahead and give us an update on your Red.
Oh, yeah. So look, I sent this tweet out not too long ago, about a week ago at least. One of the games I saw when I was back over at my parents' house was unfortunately the Nashville Predators. Nashville Predators had scored a season high 6 goals against the Red Wings, and the Red Wings lost 6-3. They had 3 games in 4 nights. They lost 6-3 to the Lightning, and then 3-2 to the Bruins, although they picked up a point in that game. And that Bruins loss, the Bruins are without Charlie McAvoy and David Pastrnak. So didn't feel very good about that as Jeremy Swayman closed them out in the shootout. Now it's another big game for the Red Wings tomorrow because they have a home and home against the Bruins. They go back to LCA for this one, not TD Garden. That one's going to be at 7 o'clock on Tuesday. Probably watch some of that. But they need to start finding wins. And I like the quote, and I know we talked about Tom McClellan. I know Alec's been busy a little bit, so he hasn't been able to cover as many games. But you and I mentioned about Tom McClellan and his no-nonsense approach that he's got. And he flat out said in that game against the Predators, this was a team that's been struggling for a long time. They have some tumultuism going through, and yet we still couldn't defend and we gave up some goals. Good teams don't give up goals. We're not a good team right now. And that's flat out what he said. And ever since he said that, they had a 6-3 loss and a 3-2 overtime loss as well. I know the Eastern Conference is jumbled, but they're 13-11-2. They've not played well of late, and I am not done on Steve Eisman yet. I said they weren't going to make the playoffs this year. I give them one more year, so they better make it. But what I am done with is the defensive core. I'm tired of seeing Travis Hamonic, who they picked up. I know Ben Schrott's done his best, but that mix in between the young players of Axel Sandin Pellikka, Simon Edmondson, I can't put a ton of blame on them because they're young. But that D-core and that goaltending tandem with John Gibson, who I said was not going to be very good, has been putrid.
Yeah, I really don't know what you guys gotta do. Honestly, if you had, who told me before the Blues extended him, I would have wanted the Red Wings. I would have said, go get Joel Hofer for the Blues.
He wouldn't have changed a freaking thing, Ian.
Yeah.
You could put Patrick Waugh back there right now for the Red Wings, and they would still get destroyed.
Yeah.
And it's go ahead.
But let's look at the other conference real quick because I can hear your voice have a rise in inflection, which means.
Oh, you wait till next week if Cooper Hopkins does drumming when we cover the Calgary Flames. Wait to see what happens. We're gonna go over but I just want to make this point so you can laugh. Wait to see what happens next Wednesday when the Red Wings lose to the Calgary Flames.
Oh, but speaking of the conference that the Flames are in, this is one of the closest outside of the obvious teams that are out of it. Excuse me.
Bless you.
But, thank you. But, oh my Lord, John, before the season I said I gave the hot take that the Oilers would be missing the playoffs.
Yep, and you had the Blackhawks in.
I had them in. What I did Utah Mammoth, the San Jose Sharks, and the Seattle Kraken all within the same range
I know.
of each other around this time.
I think the Kings have been better than expected as well from what I thought that team was. The Ducks I knew were going to be a playoff team, but maybe not at 31 in the top of the Pacific. But you're right. I mean, you have the Oilers out off of virtue of a regulation loss, a game in hand for the Blackhawks. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, the Winnipeg Jets, I know they're struggling without Connor Hellebuck. The St. Louis Blues, as you said, have played better. They're still only 2 points out, even at 9, 10, and 7, because they have 7 overtime losses. At least you'd be able to pick up some points. So it's a tight race. The one team I really don't know what to make of yet, and I think we already talked about this, though, is the Vegas Golden Knights. It's probably because of their goaltending. They had some injuries to Aiden Hill. I believe they did sign Carter Hart, correct? So he's going to be playing at some point. But that team hasn't looked all that great.
Well, the Knights, here's what they have. Here's what they got going. Well, their goaltending is suspect, but they have more than enough firepower to give them, to keep them afloat until they can get that solved.
Sure.
That's the thing. Pavel, and Pavel, Eichel, Marner. I mean, good Lord, they have boatload of riches.
And I want to give one team in the Central a ton of credit. And again, my hot take was they missed the playoffs. Obviously, the Dallas Stars weren't going to miss the playoffs, but I threw that in there because sometimes you get some surprises. But as much as we talk about the Avalanche, I do have to give the Dallas Stars credit. They're 17-5-4. They're only 4 points off the pace for the Avs, and the Avs still only have one regulation loss. So they're playing quite well. Jimmy Benn is playing well of late too. Robertson's scoring goals. That team looks good. I can't wait again, depending on where the seeding will be. If the Avalanche and Stars end up as another first round matchup, that'll be one I'll be all over again. Colorado better hope they don't play them again in the first round, because if they lose again in the first round in Dallas, there's going to be some unhappy campers.
I gotta be honest, Don. If you were to ask me what has kept the Dallas Stars going even after an off season full of questions, here's my answer. I have no idea.
It's everybody right now. Robertson, Ben, goaltending, defense. They're a good team. We knew that. Jim Nill was going to be in cap restriction hell because of Mikko Rantanen and everything else, but they made the trade, do what they needed to do. And Glenn Golitzson, I give him credit too, because I thought that might go by the wayside a little bit. But you know what? I think we'll also have to say one thing too about Dallas. Have to judge them when they get in the postseason, because you said the same thing about Peter DeBoer. Might be able to get you there, can't get you over the hump. We'll see what Glenn Golitzson can do.
Yeah.
Minnesota Wild 8-0-2 in their last 10 as well, as it is if you can, well, I guess you can't say if you can believe it, because they'd be first in the Pacific, the Wild, with 33 points, but the Avalanche have 42 and Dallas is 38. They're pretty much lapping everybody else. The Tampa Bay Lightning, you remember at the beginning of the year, had a dreadful start. Now they are first in the Atlantic with 34. In the Metro, first is the Canes with 34. And I will say this alongside with Alec, because I talked about that at the very beginning of the year. I thought Rick Tocchet got fired way too soon from the Vancouver Canucks. The Philadelphia Flyers are in a playoff spot. They're 14-7-3. They played pretty good this year.
Wait. Tocchet is the head coach of the Flyers?
Yes, they brought him after he got canned from Vancouver.
Well, geez, color me impressed for a bounce back.
Yeah.
I mean, even if the Flyers don't playoffs, the fact that they're not at the bottom of the conference
Yes.
is a massive improvement. And God, the Capitals were supposed to be dead. After Obi's legendary season, it was supposed.
They can't cut the head off the snake of the Washington Capitals. You and I both really like Spencer Carberry. I think that's one of the main reasons why that always gets done. I said the same thing about Tocchet. Good coaches find a way to help teams win games, and that's what they're doing.
I guess, but answer me this:
Mhm.
Why the heck is Tom Wilson evolved from just a bruising, dirty forward to a legitimate goal scorer?
Carberry. That's my answer to everything, buddy. I have to say it that way. How else do you explain it?
I have no idea.
Because you're absolutely right. He was nothing more than a third liner and a bruiser, but he's turned himself into a complete player. And then some of the signings that they've made for Strome and Faravari and a lot of the other stuff, Jacob Chikrin, that's a good front office as well. I know I really like what the Caps have done. They've extended their timeline.
Yeah, and they're going to be giving Ovi some of the better seasons an old timer can have. Speaking of veterans, though, so when is that expected fall off of the Pittsburgh Penguins that we've been predicting since they started since we found them in the playoff standings?
I'm still waiting for that, Ian, admittedly. That's another one of those teams. I think with the Capitals, I can understand it, but with the Penguins, I guess when you got Letang, Crosby, and Malkin in their last hurrah with Carlson, that they're really going to try to make it work. But Kyle Dubas is he's not going to have any blame because their team's playing pretty well, to be honest with you.
I guess so, and well, Sidney Crosby is pulled away from the pad. He has 16 goals. He leads the team by a mile. Let's see who are the other ones. Brian Russ. Okay, that's to be expected. Evgeny Malkin. That's two.
Probably start to drop a little bit. Buzelis between his legs, and he misses the three. Again, we are just really back underway. About a couple minutes expired from this third, as Ian and I have taken you through half all the way across the NHL and NBA. Here's a lob opportunity from Buzelis right to Dosunmu. That one was pretty. 57-54. De Silva for three, in and out. Again, anytime Orlando shoots a three-point, you can take whatever the opposite of the make is and just put a thumbs down, I guess, if you want to, as Vucevic inside the lane scores it. 59-54. Now, we mentioned a little bit in the pregame before Ian joined me. This is game 4 of 4 of the road stand for the Bulls. And I'm just going to make this note before we get back into the play-by-play. They had lost to New Orleans, Indiana, and Charlotte, all bottom feeders in the league. Some of those games have been close, but the Bulls really need a win. They're playing pretty well right now. As this one's thrown away, Desmond Bain threw it to the pretty girl in the crowd. He threw that nowhere. As Buzelis went between his legs in the replay and then threw it up to Dosunmu. That was a picture-perfect alley-oop. And the Bulls have a 59-54 lead. Dosunmu now across the timeline. Bulls in the black and red stripe. Dosunmu cross court. Giddey wide open right wing. The Bulls have their biggest lead of the game. 62-54. They are up by 8. Timeout, Jamal Mosley. 9:27 left of the third.
Oh, by the way, I wanted to tell you the other two in the top 5 goal scorers for the Penguins, Anthony Mantha and Justin Brazeau.
Yeah, I remember that Alec had mentioned Justin Brazeau. How is he scoring all these goals? And then Anthony Mantha, he spent a little bit for the Flames before he got hurt. He's scoring goals. Maybe he's finding a way to be comfortable that he never was in Detroit.
Like, wow. Okay, so it's not. Good Lord, sorry. I just saw a clip of Giants quarterback Jackson Dart getting sent to the shadow realm, as some people would say.
Oh boy, he got laid out.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, you got Jameis Winston if Jackson Dart needs to go into concussion protocol.
No, that's the thing. He got hit and then he popped right back up.
Oh boy.
I'm just like, what is this guy made of?
I started my Thanksgiving in picks against the spread 4-0. I guess there was a lot of dogs this week. Again, I'm going to end up with a good score, but I'm not going to end up making money this week because apparently the LA Rams can't cover a 10-point spread, and they lost to the Carolina Panthers.
Again, this is not the year to bet. By the way, don't say anything about what I'm about to send you on the space.
Okay.
Just look at your DMs and don't just tell me. Don't say anything about it. Just tell me your reaction.
Okay, I'm just going to give you a reaction live for what you send me, or not live, because I don't want to get you in trouble.
No. You don't just read it, because I believe you're going to be speechless.
Okay. Wait, what? Hold on a minute. Let me read this again. So Giants defensive end Abdul Carter, I'm not going to read what happened, but he's out because essentially he did something that normally goes viral at weddings. When you do something undisciplined on your phone and everybody knows it.
Well, he was not only the first drive of the first drive of but that's the thing that happens in a high school classroom.
It does. But
oh my Lord.
So I would have this discussion too. Again, I'm going to get back into the play-by-play, but that's not something that you ever see happen to women. That's specifically a problem with men. But I never understand why. Because you could easily undo the windows on your phone or delete some things, and that would never happen. But yet it happens all too often. As Buzelis, now for Dosunmu, this one gets an air ball, 62-54. I'm glad you sent that to me so I could at least laugh, but I wish I could say I was shocked, but I'm never shocked by it. This is another turnover here against the Magic. I think Jamal Mosley seems to be a pretty good coach here for the Magic. Again, as Ian mentioned, there's a lot that they have to do as far as still working on their young team. Again, now Vucevic looked like he bumped knees. He thinks he's going to be okay anyway. He should be able to walk this off. Paulo Banchero, when he does come back, that's going to add them at least another 20 points. We'll get a TO here, and we'll check on Vucevic. Looks like he just bumped knees with Wendell Carter. He should be okay. Yeah, I'm never surprised. And again, my recorder's off now for the commercial, but I don't understand as a grown ass adult really how that ends up happening. I really don't.
I don't know, but actually, probably the most prominent Giants fan that I know, 5 points is.
Mm-hmm.
This is real. This is a real headline. I thought things were supposed to be better for the Giants after they fired Jevon. What is John? Can you name a coach that's available for hire right now that could even come close to coming in and fixing the problems that this team has? That team has.
It's a coaching carousel all the time in the NFL. Admittedly, I can't because I don't follow it all that much, but I'd have to imagine there'd be plenty of opportunities available to change if they wanted.
Anyways, Bulls and Magic.
Well, I'm going to get to it. I have the recorder off. We're just going through the commercial here, but it is 95-89 lead for the Pistons over the Hawks. I want to pull that as far as my notes, just to give that update. I want to see if the Pistons win this game. Right now, what's the box score as we sit? Again, Atlanta just hit a 3, so it's 1:40 left in the fourth. Cade Cunningham has only 14 points. He is shooting 5 of 13. He's not having his greatest game. Tobias Harris, minus 16 on the court. He's 2 for 14. And yet the the Pistons lead by 3, excuse me. I have 17 off the bench for Ron Holland and 14 for Caris LeVert. So that is pretty good stuff there for the Pistons to still find a way to get a win if they can. But back-to-back threes for the Hawks have tied it at 95. Jalen Johnson has just tied it.
Yeah. Oh, I was also going to note the Heat are beating the Los Angeles Clippers 95-64.
64 points, huh? And I bet that is well within the third quarter at best.
Let me check. Honestly, it might be the fourth. Who knows? Nope, it's about halfway. There are 7 minutes left in the third quarter.
Yikes. That is a very low point total. Jalen Suggs wide open for 3. Can't knock it down. The Orlando Magic will be advancing through the NBA Cup because they went 4-0. And this one will get knocked away, but Wendell Carter going to go to the line to shoot 2. Vucevic, who had just bumped knees, a little bit of an injury timeout. It was a long one there on the Peacock end as Jalen Suggs missed a 3 and showed off the replay. But Wendell Carter going to go to the line and try to make 2. Vucevic got his 3rd, and Carter makes the 1st. So Suggs now looking to go 1 for 2 if he misses this. Again, that's a little bit of a cheat sheet ahead from where I am. Franz Wagner's got 17 for the Magic to lead all scorers there, and 13 for Dosunmu, 10 for Trey Jones off the bench, 10 for Vucevic, 10 for Buzelis. Good balanced scoring here for the Chicago Bulls. Jalen Suggs in the previous possession will draw another foul, especially off the rebound there. So Vucevic had his 3rd. I think that's his 4th. So he is in foul trouble here. 8:28 left to go in his 3rd. Let me give a live update here. The Pistons now have taken a 4-point lead on the Hawks. 17 seconds left in the 4th. Cade Cunningham just hit a 2 and a 17-foot pull-up to give the Pistons a 4-point lead. Again, I know I'm following the Bulls and Magic here on this play-by-play, but this one's coming right down the wire. So Hawks have taken a TO there. Dosunmu now, right to left across the timeline. Vucevic picked up 2 straight fouls. He's got 4. Dosunmu down the lane. This one tipped up by Vucevic and in. No foul. We play on. The Bulls lead by 7. 64-57. De Silva. Now to Carter. All the starters are out there now. Desmond Bane. Pro baseline. Cuts off Wagner. He gets his pocket picked. Good steal for Vucevic. Josh Giddey has it at the right elbow now to Buzelis. Top of the key from Vucevic to Giddey. He signals where he wants Buzelis to go, does Giddey. Now at the top of the key, Dosunmu. Inside Vucevic, back down, and he lays it in. Couple fouls and a knee bump there for Vucevic. No problem. Scores again. He's got 4 straight. 66-57. Bulls' largest lead is 9. Step back 3 for Bain. Too strong off the back iron. And that is boarded by Nikola Vucevic. Giddey. Spin. Off the glass and in. 68-57. That's against De Silva. 6 straight for the Bulls. They started the third quarter with a 9-1 run, and they are absolutely cooking the Magic here in this third. Pull back up this NBA scoreboard here. It is a 16-4 run for the Bulls in this third. I'm going to have to reload this Peacock feed just in case I am bounced out here, Ian. Give me 1 second. Do I still got you here, Ian, on this end?
Yep.
Okay. I just had to reload the feed. So I think they took a timeout, but it was a 16-4 run that continued from 9-1 for the Bulls. Right now it's 71-59, according to ESPN. I'm going to try to get back up to this live side. So I got the recorder paused for a moment. Just give me 1 second here. This is being, there we go. So right now I got 71-59 with 6:27, so it should be up to date on mine. So Buzelis is going to go to the line here. He's going to try to complete and have one opportunity. The Bulls got their biggest lead. And I said this to Ian. I think we agreed all the way across. 2 teams that don't look bad at all. But the Bulls are a very young team. Again, you want to be able to salvage something from your 4-game road stand. Again, you lost the first 3 to teams that you really shouldn't have, even with all the injuries that they have. But they've been giving the Orlando Magic some damage here. I mean, the Orlando Magic only have 59 points, and they cough it up again. Jalen Suggs looked for an entry pass to Franz, and this is Buzelis on the right wing corner. Now for Vucevic, left elbow. Buzelis thought about it. At the top of the key, got Goga Badadze in his grill. Shot clock down to 10. And the ball is lost, but Dosunmu picks it back up. Here's a cross pass right into Vucevic, right in front of the key. Nobody picks him up. 74-59. And this is starting to look ugly. Again, not between these 2 teams as a whole, but the Orlando Magic are really not doing anything in this third quarter. Vucevic got 16 points. He's got 8 in the third. He's outscoring the Magic more than they have in this quarter. Anthony Black. Franz Wagner at the top of the key. Gets around Buzelis. Franz puts his head down. Mercifully scores. 74-61. 5:20 left in the third. Still tons of time. But the Orlando Magic got to start putting buckets together. Nice pass. Vucevic leading to the cup, and he missed off the floater. And Anthony Black skies for the pumpkin. Down the lane, lays it in. 4 straight now for the Magic. 74-63. 5 minutes left to go in the third. Dosunmu to the lane. He draws the foul. That one's going to get picked up, I believe, against Anthony Black. So no Huerter, as they mentioned. They said that on Peacock with the abductor strain. For the Hawks, it is the Pistons. That one, I believe, has just gone final. Pistons hold on, win by 1 against the Hawks, 99-98. Nickeil Alexander-Walker made a 3. Pistons take the TO. They were able to get the ball in. Jalen Johnson committed the foul. I don't think there's going to be anything else left as the time expired. That's what I see here. We'll see what else updates on ESPN. Patrick Williams gets set to check in. We'll go across the NBA scoreboard one more time. Patrick Williams way too strong on the back iron. The free throws have been tough for both of these teams. That's the one thing that I can say. Jalen Suggs Gets that rebound to Goga Badadze. Now on the other end, Anthony Black. Too short off the back iron, and that was bothered by the good Bulls defense. Picked up now here for the Bulls. Right at the top of the key. Shot clock to 10. Corner for Williams. Again, that is his spot, but this time he missed it. Rebounded by the Orlando Magic and Anthony Black. Jalen Suggs can walk into right wing 3. Just can't find it. Patrick Williams, again, he started 4 for 4 from the field and 6 of 6 from the line. But the Orlando Magic are 3 for 20 shooting threes in this game. They're well below their percentage of the even average that isn't good at 36%. Well, 32%, I should say, looking at my notes. As I'll go back down, yeah, it was 34.7%, 22 of 30. And they are not shooting well at all in this game. It is atrociously bad. As it's 75-63, we will get a foul called as Emanuel Miller will enter the game. Josh Giddey comes in for Julian Phillips. Anthony Black's going to go to the line to try to make it a 75-65 deficit. So now Orlando was able to get Chicago as they filled the box out on a previous play. Don't want to have that happen again. As the changes are now starting to be made, Billy Donovan giving out the signs to his club. Black makes the first, misses the second, and Badadze beats the Bulls to the rim again and lays it right in. So Bulls, again, second time they've given that up, and this was on the backhand side for Lachlan Olbrich. Olbrich now with the basketball. Now to Miller in the corner, knocks it down. 78-66, hits it from distance. 3:40 left to go in the third. Bulls up by 12. And a foul away from the play. Goga Badadze going to be able to go to the line. Olbrich picks it up. So Olbrich fails the box out. Badadze gets an easy 2. And then he follows Goga Badadze here, which sends the Magic to the line. That's not what you want to do when your team has got the lead. They are nursing. Not really necessarily nursing on a 12-point deficit, but you kind of get my drift of where we go here. Any unnecessary fouls would change the game quickly enough, even for a team like the Magic, even without someone like Paulo Banchero. So Desmond Bane gets set to check in with Tyus Jones. So number 2 and number 3 come in respectively. Goga Badadze made the first, and he will make the second. So the Orlando Magic within 10, 3:35 left to go in the third. Bulls with the basketball. Patrick Williams had it in the corner. Trey Jones now for Josh Giddey. Giddey gets the screen from Olbrich. Right wing between his legs. Pass for Patrick Williams. Wide open. He airballs the 3. This goes right to Goga. Anthony Black. He'll stop on a dime. Finally knocked down a 3 as the Orlando Magic. And it's 78-71 now. Tons of time, as we said, left to go in this game. 4 of 21 from 3. Just 19%. Patrick Williams, right wing. Giddey, top of the key. Backs away from Anthony Black. Trey Jones. Trey shoots a right wing 3. He rattles it home. Back-to-back answer for both squads. It's back within 10. 81-71. Desmond down the lane, lays it in, gets around Olbrich. Bulls almost cough it up, but they're able to get this one across the timeline. Trey Jones gets a lay-in, beats everybody down the floor, and draws the foul, looks like, unless they're going to want to say no. Looks like he got a 2. That's an assist from Emanuel Miller. Thought he had a foul, but no. 83-73. Desmond Bane got it at the Magic logo. Bane outlet pass. This will be moved to Tyus Jones, not Anthony Black, number 0. Try to get himself down the lane. Rolling and in. Gets the foul against Emanuel Miller. That is an and 1. This time I am for certain. Moritz Wagner. He is on the bench. He's dealing with an injury, but not for Franz, the older brother. Roots on his teammate, and Anthony Black, as the Wilson ball slowly toilet seats down the lane and goes in. 83-76. Should Anthony Black make the and one? Right at 2:13, we get a stoppage. So Orlando Magic trying to fight their way back in through a very porous start of this third. And Black will hit the free throw. It is a 7-point lead for the Bulls. They want to try to get back within double digits. Anthony Black, 4 of 8. And a floater will draw the foul. Tyus Jones will pick it up. Trey Jones will go to the line for 2. So let's go to your box score reset for a moment. Leading scorer for Chicago, Vucevic, 16 on 7 of 10. Very efficient shooting. 12 for Giddey. Giddey has 7 boards, 7 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 steals, and a block. He's been all over the score sheet. Buzelis with 13, Dosunmu with 13. Franz Wagner, 21 in 25 minutes of action, 9 of 15 shooting. Both free throws are knocked down for the Bulls. Trey Jones makes it 85-76, 2 minutes left to go in the third. John, you're with you watching this one. I believe from the Kia Centers, they changed the names. But I'd say hook and hit knocks it down. 85-78 as he hit that from the right block. Buzelis walking 3, missed it all. And this will be De Silva with the rebound to give to Desmond Bane. Desmond had the jump stop, puts his head down and lays it in beautifully. Puts a head fake against Buzelis. And now it's within 5. Down the lane, Buzelis gets blocked. This was saved. They got blocked by Badatse. Magic trying to get within 2. Bane hits the 3. It's 85-83. And the Magic have come alive. Timeout, Billy Donovan. 1:18 left in the third. And the Magic now back within 2. One hell of a run for them. And this game has completely changed. Timeout.
By the way, there is another team in Chicago that we need to discuss. I know I've been heaping a lot of praise on them lately, but I don't think I can give them enough, especially after last night's game against the Ducks.
Yeah, what do we want to mention about the Blackhawks now, Ian?
It's just, and are we at a timeout right
Yes. Yes, we are.
now? The Chicago Blackhawks. So fall to a 3-0 deficit in the first period. They get a power play goal from, or was it 2-0, and then Tyler Bertuzzi gave a power play goal. It might have been 2-0, and then Bertuzzi scores at the end of the first. They go down 3-1, and then come back and the final score being 5-3 Blackhawks. Connor Bedard taking Peter Mrazek to school on one of his goals. I feel like this is becoming a constant gushing over the Blackhawks. But I feel like there's not enough you can say about them.
They've had a good year. I mean, you mentioned the good young players, Bedard trying to find his zone. You had Huerter, Teravainen, you got Nazer, you got Bertuzzi, you got good veterans there. You're going to get Foligno back. Blashill has an opportunity to coach a team that has some talent. Spencer Knight's a good goaltender. There's a lot to like. 30 seconds left to go in the third. I'm going to close this out. We'll bring that back up as Noah Penda was the second-round pick for the Orlando Magic this year. Penda He didn't throw it down, but he kind of laid it in. He attacked the rim, and it's tied at 85. Bulls had a 12-point lead. It is gone now. Shot clock turned off, and a foul will be taken the other way. Olbrich offensive foul, and the Magic have an opportunity to take the lead. And if we give you the reset, again, as we sit in the third, the box score is going to look like it was a little bit tied, which it is. As we'll look at last possession, I don't want to give away of what won't happen or will happen, but the Bulls had a giant lead, and then it will end up being 32-32 in the box score. So we're going to go just as we were at the half. We're still tied as it's down to 5 seconds. This shot for Bain, way deep, and this one off. We're tied at 85. It's been a giant run for the Magic. It's pretty much been a 12-2 run, essentially. Tied it at 85. We'll go to the fourth. We'll see what happens.
And hey, John, you know how when we were covering, and I think it was the Blackhawks and Kraken,
Yeah.
we said something about one Trent Frederick.
Yes.
And then he proceeded to score. Well, the same thing just happened tonight. Congratulations to the Washington Wizards for your third win on the season.
Oh, yeah, we're speaking things into existence, and I get your segue there. I like it. So the Wizards get a win. Again, the Wizards, they're 3-16. That would still be the worst in the East, tied with the Nets. And the Pelicans, that's the only team that have a worse record. They're 3-18.
Yeah, that's also another team who, well, since the departure of Anthony Davis, it feels like they've been rebuilding.
Yeah, excuse me. Giannis played and they lost to the Wizards?
Yeah. Apparently Chris Middleton and CJ McCollum went stupid, as people would say.
That's what happens when I say a bunch of nice things about them, as I said at the beginning. I said, there's no way a team like Washington can only have 3 wins when they have those two on their team. Middleton had 31 and McCollum had 36.
No. That's how many minutes.
Oh, minutes? Okay, 15 and 28. Okay, my apologies. It was backwards.
Although, wait. In the year 2025, Marvin Bagley had 22 points.
That's what surprised me most of all. 22 on 11 to 16 for Marvin Bagley.
I didn't even know that guy was still in the league.
Okay, I'm gonna say something mean to Giannis. I know he's an NBA champion. You have friggin' Miles Turner and Giannis Antetokounmpo in the paint, and you give up 22 to Marvin Bagley the third. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah. By the way, Miles Turner only had 9 points.
Shame.
He played 26 minutes, so I don't know if he got injured or let's see. No fouls, so hopefully he's all right.
If Miles Turner didn't get injured, Ian, he sure played like it. 3 of 10, 9 points, and Marvin Bagley, again, this is official for the quarter, in 29 minutes, was 11 of 16 from the field and had 7 offensive rebounds.
Oh my Lord.
Doc Rivers, we always say that you should be fired. Stop stealing from the Bucks. Go away.
Doc Rivers he is. Oh my God.
I'm going to say something about Doc now. Doc Rivers is living off the championship that was bought for them in the free agency when they got Ray Allen and Paul Pierce. I think Doc Rivers is a fraud.
He is a fraud in the same way that I think fans in and they're trying to see how fraudulent Mike Tomlin is, because, oh my lord.
I can't believe some of the things that we saw today. And one of those ones, as you said, the two guards and then Marvin Bagley experience. Again, there is a late game on Peacock. Should be a good one, too. Suns and Lakers. I'll probably watch that a little bit as I'm working on the story here. The Nuggets are up 35-23 on the Mavs. Cooper Flagg the other day, I think, Ian, he had a pretty darn good game for Dallas.
That's good. I'm glad the youngins figuring it out slowly.
I'm going to look back up in his line. He had 35 in 38 minutes. 13 of 22 from the field, 9-11 from the free throw line. So.
Oh my God, the Sabres are up 5-1 on the Jets.
Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me?
Hang on. Let me just.
Who's in goal for the Jets?
For the Jets?
Okay. Here's something, because now I see Eric Comrie. Eric Comrie.
Wait, no, it's not. Wait, no, it's not. Eric
Thomas
Comrie.
Milich. I'm going to tell you about Thomas Milich really quick, and then I'm going to get into this play-by-play. I saw Thomas Milich beat Team USA in the World Juniors as Canada won when he was on the same team with Connor Bedard. So he's a Winnipeg Jet, and he's getting his trial by fire against the Buffalo Sabres, and apparently it's not going very well because Josh Norris has come back. He's scored his first two of the year, and Bowen Byram and Jason Zucker have goals.
Yep, and the Blue Jackets are whooping up on the Devils at the moment. That's always good.
Yes, it is, because for whatever reason, anytime the Devils beat up on the Red Wings, they really try to make it spicy, and their admin angers me.
Yeah.
87 is your score in between the Bulls and the Magic as Buzelis. It's both. So we will call this fourth, and if we need more, I will stay with you until it's done. And I'm going to get myself some food before I get set to pay some bills tomorrow. As Anthony Black make this pass across. The three-pointer is missed for Noah Penda. Again, he was the last pick in the draft this year, but he's averaging almost 10 points a game for the Magic. As cross-court feed for Buzelis. This one will get knocked away, and this will be kept for Badadze. Pick up a personal foul. This will stay with Billy Donovan's squad. I'm not sure what Warren is doing over in the other room, but it sounds like she's cleaning some glass with, like, when you streak down on a napkin or a towel where it's really streaky and it sounds like nails on a chalkboard, and that's all I'm hearing back there in the other room. So I promise you nothing bad is happening, but that is the sound I'm picking up as it's 10:50 left to go in the third. As this one will get knocked away from Dosunmu, and a foul will be picked up against Desmond Bain. Dosunmu going to go to the line to shoot two. Always like watching Dosunmu. Oh yeah, so no. If I do hear any of that stuff and my recorder goes blank, I'm probably dead. So that is what we'll say here. So Dosunmu will go to the line for two. But again, Lauren and I haven't lived that long together for us to hate each other just yet. But that's not going to happen. I kid. As Dosunmu makes both. So Buzelis will now get an option. I promise it's not comedy hour, but we are watching NBA on Peacock, so I do want to have some fun. Honestly, other than a couple mistakes that I've made in some of the feeds that's gone away, it's honestly not been that bad, all things considered, but I can't imagine paying full price. As Anthony Black trying to get down the lane. What a block by Buzelis. He puts it toward Bain, and now Badadze has to pick it up at the top of the key. Here's a pass from Jones. Penda shoots the three, knocks it down, and the Orlando lead goes back up to 90-89. This has been a good back and forth game. Giddey, this is too strong off the back iron, but he will draw the foul against Penda. Now, I know he's no longer a member of the Oklahoma City Thunder, Ian, but what did you think of Josh Giddey when he was there?
everybody figured themselves out, and even if what happened hadn't happened,
Right.
I'm not sure he would still be here because they need defensive help, and Alex Caruso has been more than they could ask for in
Right.
that regard.
So it was one of those guys, considering how good the Thunder were, that Giddey could be a little more expendable than anything else.
Well, yeah, because he played a role similar to Shea, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit different, but Giddey's a scorer, and they had scorers, especially with the emergence of Jalen Williams. What they needed was defense, and Caruso has more than helped with that.
And very quickly, before I get back into the scene, I know it's hard to go down the line as far as how many championships or potential dynasty, but you certainly see more, probably 2 or 3 at least in the future for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oh, if Sam Presti keeps working his magic and head coach Dagenham keeps everything going, yeah. I certainly see that. Matter of fact,
Go ahead.
especially if they somehow find a way to keep Shea, Williams, and Olbrich, which is going to be difficult because, oh my God, those contracts are going to be insane.
Absolutely. A couple of threes from Bane and Giddey back to back. It's tied at 93. About 9 minutes left to go in this regulation. Should we need more? Dosunmu puts it on the deck. This one tapped off Buzelis. Giddey going to try another three. This one airballed off the back iron. And we get a whistle. We'll see what it's going to be on. Someone's down. I think that might be Goga Badadze. So Badadze trying to hop it off, essentially. Did he step on a foot? Or did he get a little hip check there for Giddey? I think he might have got brushed on the side of the ribs. Maybe knocked the wind out of him. As it is very tight ball game here in Orlando. We sit tied at 93. And it's still Bulls basketball. The shot clock down to 8. Giddey's pass will go inside to Vucevic, who has done all of his work inside the paint. We will take a timeout. Bulls back up by 2. We still got a little bit of work to do in this game. Badadze is still trying to work out a little bit of an injury. Don't go anywhere. It's a 2-point game. Bulls lead. Mammoth and Sharks look to be the late game on the hockey end. Both those teams 12, 11, and 3. And if we look into the NHL standings, depending on what happens tonight, again, I don't have everything in front of me as far as how the 2 points and the math are going to actually math out. But you could essentially have the San Jose Sharks in a playoff spot after tonight.
Yeah. You know, when the season started, I didn't know what to think of the Sharks because they were inconsistent. They didn't seem to be able to find any footing. Their goaltender committed a Steve Dangle, if you're a goaltender, technical. But it seems like I said that there had to be some development with that core. And lo and behold, it looks like things are starting to take shape.
So I was looking at this scene. To your point, I wanted to make sure that it made sense because I looked at Yaroslav Askarov's numbers. It didn't look all that great. But over his last 1, 2, 3, 4, his goals against, pretty darn good. A little bit under 2. and a signal 32 out of 34, 34, 35, 31 of 34. The only thing that looks awful, and that's why his stats have ballooned, he was on the hook for a 6-0 loss against the Avalanche, where his goals against ballooned to almost 10 in that single game. So his numbers a little bit misleading. He's played much better of late.
Sorry, if you hear me laughing, I just looked at, out of curiosity, who the leading defensemen are for all major categories. John, can you guess who is the leading defenseman for goals scored on the Sharks?
Oh, I'm gonna go off the board here just because I think it'd be funny. I don't know if he's still playing for this team or not. Is it John Klingberg?
It is John Klingberg. He has 3 goals.
Something I would always say about John Klingberg, I say he was a defenseman in name only, does not play defense. But they have John Klingberg and they got Dmitry Orlov on that team, and yet they win today. They could be in a playoff spot.
Yeah.
John Klingberg.
John Klingberg.
Yes. Dallas could not wait to get rid of him. Up until the beginning of his career, he was pretty good, but not toward the back end of it. 95-93, still your score. The Bulls up by 2. Honestly, Ian, this has not been a bad basketball game. I was kind of worried, considering, as we said, the spread was about 10 of where it might be, but you have to also think, too, right? When the Bulls have lost the 3 games that they have to New Orleans and Indiana, they got to salvage something on the road stand, try to play well. Desmond Bane fall away from mid-range, ties it at 95. And this game continues to go nip and tuck. Buzelis answers with a mid-range. Kind of like his game, 97-95. He knocks it down from 14. I thought that was a mid-range, but they gave him a 3. 98-95. Bane, floater, this one in, and the foul against Dosunmu. Got 2 handsy there, did Dosunmu. And Bane's going to go to the line for an and one opportunity to try to make it a 98 game all. With 7:52 left in the first. So Buzelis, again, hand in his face. That was Anthony Black still knocked it down. And now Desmond Bane go to the line. Again, I'm not going to say anything disingenuous about Desmond Bane because whether or not the Memphis Grizzlies at the time were working really well with John Moran or not, he's a 3-and-D guy in every sense of the word. I think that's a good pickup for the Orlando Magic. When you're going 27 points, 9-12, and 7-7 from the line, it's pretty much as good as it gets. Josh Giddey makes the layup. It's 189. Bulls get to the century mark. Here is Tyus Jones, pocket pass. Wendell Carter knocks it down. This game is tied at 100. Got from 15 feet. See where we go here with about 7:30 left in regulation. Should we need more? Giddey bounce pass. Vucevic. Williams wide open. Nobody wanted to guard him, and they're going to pay for it, the Orlando Magic. 103-100. Outlet pass. And this one is just turned over. Tyus Jones tried to go length of the floor, and the Magic didn't meet it there. This would be Bulls ball with 7:22 left. Julian Phillips now going to enter the game for Vucevic. Buzelis, again, a hand in the face, knocks it down. No problem there. Little dead-eye shooting for Buzelis. Bulls, if they win, they'll go to 10-10, and they look much better than that, to be honest with you, in this game. Giddey, try to go between his legs, goes to the lane, draws the foul. That one's going to be against Wendell Carter Jr. Pull back up this NBA box from where we are. The Nets in a battle of 3-16. Hell, if the Wizards get one of their regular wins, the Nets can at least beat the Hornets, but that's really not a prize because the Hornets are only 6-14. From everything I'm hearing on NBA terms of what could be moved, they're still talking about LaMelo Ball possibly maybe on the move to the Dallas Mavericks. I'm not sure how that would work, but that's the rumors that I keep hearing. The Heat up 129, 116 against the Clippers. If the Clippers win, they'd be 6-15. Dosunmu off the tap back, too strong. Black outlet Franz gets a dunk. 104, 102. 6:55 left to go in the fourth. Bulls up by 2. This is Dosunmu, top of the key. Try to get around Franz. Now got Wendell Carter in his grill. Give to Giddey. Cross-court feed. That was zipped. Back to Giddey from Dosunmu. Giddey 3. Yes, sir. 107, 102. Knocks it down from the top of the key. And the Bulls up by 5. Trying to get a win on the road. Giddey's got 22. He's 3 of 5 from distance. Franz gets the screen from Wendell Carter. De Silva. Penda now. He missed it off the front of the iron. A little too short. Giddey slowly across the timeline. Giddey now cross court to Buzelis. Top of the key is Josh. Former OKC man gets it knocked away. Shot clock to 10, and then it's coughed up. Bad pass. Desmond Bain now. Push ahead to Black, who throws it down. 107, 104. It's back within a 3-point game. Orlando still trying to fight through this. And the timeout's called on the floor. Come right back. 5:52 left. Bulls up by 3. Jazz up 2 on the Rockets. Rockets are 13-4 on the year. When you got a lineup of Durant, Jabari Smith Jr., and Alperen Sengun, Amen Thompson, and Reed Shepard, probably doing pretty good. I have to imagine Alec Nam is pretty happy with that team. And I didn't know this, but Kevin Love is still playing in the league. 37-year-old playing off the bench. He's got 6. Bryce Sensabaugh out of Ohio State. Kyle Anderson, slow-mo, the former Spur. Svi Mikhailuk is on this team. Former Kansas Jayhawk. So, yeah, that's a cast of characters in Utah. We'll see what Ace Bailey is going to turn into, but he was the 5th overall pick out of Rutgers. 6'9", 200 is Ace Bailey.
See, here's the thing about the Jazz. I mean, they've been building a core. I think, given maybe 2 more years of legitimate rebuilding, and they could be some good competition.
The Jazz always strike me as a team, Ian. I mean, even when they had Donovan Mitchell and the big that could only score inside the paint, they always were a team that was competitive. And even a couple of years before that, when they've gone through this rebuild, they've still always been competitive. And that's what the Jazz always seem to be.
Yeah.
Trying to think of that center. I don't know why. There's a couple of these that should not be escaping my name. That always played with Donovan Mitchell. That was from France. That made a ton of money. That always is much maligned because he can only make dunks and twos, but blocks a lot of shots. I forget where he's playing now. Because he was the guy that was also responsible for the NBA COVID shutdown single-handedly.
Oh, Gobert?
Rudy Gobert, yes.
I think he's playing for the Wolves.
The Timberwolves now, you're correct. Yeah, he's playing alongside the former New York Knick on the power forward end for Julius Randle, yes. I had to think of it because, I don't know the fit. But again, if I'm Rudy Gobert, I've had myself a hell of a career, and I've also made a ton of money. Things could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
Tyus Jones gets set to sit down. Trey Jones now for the Chicago Bulls. Take it right to left. And again, in between that, that's not so bad as the three different Jalen Williams that are on the Oklahoma City Thunder. When I covered that a couple of years ago, when LeBron broke the scoring record, I thought my head was going to pop off. There's Buzelis now on the right end. He's trying to get around Suggs. Step back. This is too strong off the back iron. Bulls do save it. Now Josh Giddey at the top of the key, trying to get around Anthony Black. Screen from Vucevic. Hasn't elected to shoot any threes. He has the range now, though. This is Buzelis, and then cleaned up. What a dunk on the other end. What a bit of a jump over the head. Trying to get a number on that one for the Bulls. As that was Julian Phillips. My goodness, the rookie got a big-time poster. As Desmond Bane gets a driving layup, we are underneath 5 minutes to go here. Vucevic, not a Phillips from Trey Jones. Now back to Giddey to Trey. He gets stopped right at the top of the key. He doesn't have a dribble. He's just trying to draw his head into Desmond Bane. And for once, the NBA players that always act when fouls get drawn on them. I got to agree with Desmond Bane. He's looking demonstrative, but what the heck did he do? Trey Jones didn't have a dribble, and all he did was try to burrow his head like an ostrich into the stomach of Desmond Bane, and Desmond got a foul called against him. I don't know what he could have done differently.
I'm not seeing foul call for Bane.
Jalen Suggs.
Yeah, for Suggs.
Yeah, what could Suggs have done differently there?
I don't know.
From what I saw, I just see the push, and then that's all you got. So Trey Jones going to go to the line. That's kind of criminal if you're the Orlando Magic. I don't want to sound too hyperbolic, but that really wasn't a foul. Anthony Black. Now we'll take this one across court toward the right wing side. Wendell Carter Jr. Go to Tyus Jones. Tyus to Anthony Black. He's open right wing. They need it. And Orlando knocks it down. Again, they're not very good from three, as we mentioned, but it makes it a 1-point deficit. Trey puts his head down. Dosunmu, try to go baseline, cut off. And if this is another foul against Suggs, he's going to lose his mind. Giddey gets set to check back in. This crowd is really angry. Jamal Mosley going to go ahead and challenge the call on the floor to make sure it's not Magic basketball. Can't take him with you anyway. And he jumped off his feet immediately. 4:09, we get a stoppage. We'll come back and tell you what it is.
Just a quick update. The Blue Jackets have defeated the New Jersey Devils.
Let's look at that really quickly, Ian. As there's a 5-3 victory, 3 goals in the third period for Columbus. Sean Monahan, Charlie Coyle, Monahan again, and Miles Wood for your goal scorers. Jake Allen, not a very good night, 19 of 24, but Elvis pretty good in goal for Columbus, 30 of 33. Again, Columbus's next game, we scroll back down, that will be the one against the Detroit Red Wings. So they play this Monday night. They will get 3 days off. The Red Wings, on the other hand, they have the Tuesday against the Bruins, as we mentioned. So they're going to be a little more beat up, you would have to think. So Columbus is a good opportunity. Maybe I shouldn't cover that game on Thursday because I might just want to grit my teeth.
Well, you know what? If you're going to cover it, have someone there to regain it. Because
I might need to, Ian, but also at the same time, I think I probably should because it's going to be on Hulu, it's the rare opportunity for me to actually cover a Wings game this year. As a three-pointer for Wagner is missed. Bulls, 4 minutes left to go thereabouts. Here is an opportunity. Wild scoop layup, and we'll see what the call is going to be as the Magic missed on the other end. Desmond Bane gets knocked to the floor. Bane has had himself a whirlwind over the last three. I don't think he was settled there. So that should be a foul called against him. And the fans are chanting the obvious ref you suck here at this point as Buzelis goes to the line for 2. Jalen's going to pick up his third foul. Austin Rivers is getting to sit right where the players do as Buzelis makes the first. It's 111-109. And we are getting close to gut check time. As Ian has had to step away for a moment, but we're going to take it all the way through the end of this until it's done. Buzelis misses the second short off the front of the rim. It's a 1-point game. Bulls lead 110-109. Desmond will get this from Suggs. Wraparound pass, wide open. Carter for 3. He missed it. Franz gets the tap. Now to Desmond Bane, right wing fall away. He missed it. Another opportunity. Jalen Suggs with a board. Bane topicky for 3. Third time's the charm. And the Orlando Magic take the lead. 112-111. Desmond Bane. 3 opportunities. Vucevic puts his head down. Now to Trey Jones. 112-111. It's Buzelis right wing. No. And this will be rebounded by Wendell Carter Jr. Slowly across the timeline for Desmond Bane. Gets it back from Anthony Black. Now to Desmond. Thought about the step back. 2:40 left to go in the fourth. Black, Euro lays it in. 114-111. The Orlando Magic now up by 3. 2:30 left to go in the fourth. Joining in with you on the call, alongside Ian Genge. Vucevic, left corner 3, no. And this one rebounded by Franz. Franz to Anthony Black. Jump stop, shoots it, no. Big contact in the fight for the ball. And we'll see who gets it. Looks like Trey Jones is going to pick up the personal foul. And this will stay with the Orlando Magic. So a couple of big threes. Desmond Bane and then Anthony Black with a driving layup, 5 straight, has given the Orlando Magic a 114-111 lead. And this game really has gone back and forth. The Magic led by 3 after the first quarter. Then Chicago ties it up 27-24. We were split even at 32 after 3. And there really hasn't been much nip and tuck. Again, the Bulls were up by as many as, I believe, 12 in that third quarter before the Orlando Magic came all the way back to tie it. And then it's kind of stayed close since. Patrick Williams going to come into the game at 2:21 for Trey Jones. Trey a little bit slow after that push-off. This is Orlando's basketball. Desmond. It's Carter with a dunk as he cleans up the mess. 116-111. Billy Donovan going to take time, and the Orlando Magic, 7 straight points. They're up by 5.
John, it's looking like the Bulls are gonna go 0 for 4 on this road trip.
You could understand the loss at the end to the Orlando Magic, but I can't, even with the injuries. You lost to New Orleans, the worst team in the league. The Charlotte Hornets, the 4th worst team, and the Pacers are the 3rd worst team. You can't lose to those 3 teams before this.
Yeah, I don't know. know any combination.
I mean, that Patrick Williams, and it's easy to do for the draft because you look at it, there's a lot of guys. I don't want to use the word bust yet. I feel like he's a rotational or role player, but he's not a top 5 pick. But again, when you don't hit on those, it sets you back. I mean, you had that happen to you for the Philadelphia 76ers, for Markelle Fultz, and things go back and forth. Look, I know it's hard to figure out who's going to be the can't miss guy, unless there really is a can't miss guy. But you're right. I think for the Bulls, at least, and I would say the same thing, they've been middling for too long. And then they tried the DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine experience, and all that really got them was a play-in spot at best. So Desmond Bane gets to make a technical free throw. 117-111 is his Bulls ball. Magic 13-2 run in the last 3 minutes. Dosunmu, Bulls need points. Trey Jones to Giddey. Probably going to be the guy that engineers it. Dosunmu. Good jump fake there. Bulls going to run out of time. Floater off glass and in. That was Trey Jones. 117-113. Magic score here. That might be enough to put it away. It's a 4-point deficit for Chicago. They're looking like they're going to go 0 for 4, as Ian mentioned, on their road trip. This is Anthony Black, makes his man fall down. Extra pass. Bane gets to the lane and puts it in. 119-113. 90 seconds left. Giddey now. Vucevic. Here's his pass to Dosunmu. Needed the 3. Got it. 119-116. 120 left to go in the fourth. Desmond Bane going to take his time. Now to Franz. Back to Desmond. 110 left to go in the fourth. Franz work his way down the lane. Kisses it off the glass and in. 121-116. Bulls got to go quickly. Whether it's a 2 or 3, they got to score right now. Here's Buzelis. Fake the pass. Giddey gets blocked by Anthony Black. This will stay here on the right wing end at 56 seconds in the fourth. 11 blocks in the ball game, and Anthony Black with the latest. Vucevic, the sugar man, gets it in. Buzelis forces a 3, misses it, and this gets tipped in unintentionally by the Magic. That's going to count as a 2 for the Bulls. 121-118. It is a 3-point lead for Orlando. Down to 40 seconds. Desmond Bane from Suggs. Bane down the lane, splits the defense. Does he draw the foul? They say turnover against Bane, but I think the Magic are going to challenge to see if this will be Bulls ball with 35.3. So I'm going to tell you here right now from the ESPN box, we're watching this one on Peacock. Looking ahead, the call is overturned. Desmond Bane able to keep possession of the basketball, and the Magic should retain their timeout. At 35.3 left, that's big because the Magic are up by 3. It's 121-118, and that should allow them to salt the game away as long as they don't make any silly mistakes here. It's been a good back and forth game for the most part. Again, I was pleasantly surprised about where this game has been. It certainly looks like if you're a betting man, the Chicago Bulls should be able to cover this 9.5-point spread that it came into. Now, football spread's probably more my game because it only costs about $55 for me for a year to do it all. It's not serious money, but doing basketball spreads day to day, no, that feels more like a Terry Rozier thing. I would be comfortable with that, to be honest with you. So let's pull back up this NHL box really quickly before we get set here for those last couple possessions. That is your final. The Buffalo Sabres win 5-1. The Penguins win 5-1 in the Battle of Philadelphia. So that's big because the Penguins were in Eastern wildcard spot numero dos, and they can gain some traction in on the Flyers, who lost in regulation. Ducks still up 2-1 on the Blues. Just 5 minutes expired in that third period. Desmond makes the first, and the Magic now up by 4. 122-118 is your score. Magic have been playing some good basketball of late, as we mentioned in the Open. Should they win this, it'll be 6 of the last 7 for Orlando. Again, they're also coming off of a win, beating the Detroit Pistons in the potential NBA Cup qualifications and knock them out. They will already be going to Vegas. Buzelis knocks it down, 123-120. Now you got to get it in quickly and foul. Giddey didn't get a piece of it. One more pass, Carter gets a dunk. Bulls couldn't foul, and now this is an even bigger lead for Orlando. It is 127-120. Dosunmu just trying to shove it away. 125-120 is the correct score. Excuse me, as Peacock just adjusted that. So late foul, with 9.4 left. And we'll see what we get. We should be able to stay right here. So Buzelis, a driving layup, Carter dunk, 125-120. Billy Donovan going to take a timeout. That right at 9.4 seconds. And Dosunmu, I think he killed about 4.5 seconds when I look at it, just try to shovel the ball away to be able to keep it alive, more so than they should have. But 9.4 is enough time to at least manufacture a shot, knock down a 3, but then you immediately got a foul on the other end. NBA scoreboard, Mavericks, wow, they went on one hell of a run, and they were 42-27 in that second quarter. They're up by 1 against the Nuggets. They're just 6-15. Nuggets are 14-5. Jazz are up 66-57 on the Rockets. Cavs do win 135-119 against the Pacers. We mentioned the Wizards getting a first win in a while. 129-126, actually 2 of the last 4, I believe. And then the Nets do beat the Hornets. So 4-16 and 3-16, 2 teams that don't win a lot, both win today. The Heat take care of business against the Clippers. 140-123. The Clippers are a dreadful 5-16 on the year.
Yep.
So the foul game is what's all going to be left if they want to go with 5. But right now you don't have to foul if you're the Magic. You got enough of a lead. Just get them to kill time. And almost turned over, tapped up in the air. Now it is. Bulls won't foul. That's it. They go 0-4 on their road stand. They lose a crusher. 125-120. The Magic take care of business. They improve to 13-8. The Bulls fall to 9-11. And that's your ball game. Ian, thank you for joining me for this one. It was fun. Again, I'll see whether or not I cover for Wednesday or Thursday. Thursday, try not to blow up my voice because I got 2 Sharks assignments. But if it is Thursday, there will be the Red Wings in a rare game I can cover in full totality because it'll be on Hulu against the Jackets. But the Jackets are good, so I know I'll have my work cut out for me.
All right, sir. Have a good night.
We'll see you. That's your NBA final, folks. The Magic win 125-120 over the Bulls. This was fun. We'll get a little bit of a game story after. We'll see you probably Thursday, if not Wednesday. Peace.